Hello, everybody. Do we have audio? Oh, yeah, we're good. Nice. Good morning. Ah, getting started. I don't even know what to talk about today. I wasn't planning on doing a live until I got up this morning. And I just got back from vacation yesterday afternoon. I've been gone for a week out in Palm Springs and Phoenix-ish. Phoenix-ish. Sun City, West. Played a lot of golf, hung out, enjoyed the sun, sat in a hot tub a couple times, just relaxed. I didn't do a single second of editing or filming or anything. I didn't work at all. It was an honest to God vacation. I don't know the last time I did that. I'm always like, when I travel, I always try to squeeze something in and try to keep the channel going. Pierhead Jump is here. We got San Francisco. We got Maryland. We got Washington State. What else? Somebody said that they started about to start their very first build project. That's pretty cool. Do as I say, not as I do. Wait, I don't know. Fine. Check your condition. I'm back on. Okay, there we go. Now we got some chats coming in. Mesa, Boulder, Minnesota, Ohio, Australia. There we go. Misery. I hear you. Off to critical mess this afternoon. I don't know what critical mess. Do you mean critical mass? Bulletin board's back. But you guys probably know that from the last video. Something that I didn't even know existed, but I was thinking for here, I just saw it in my Facebook Marketplace feed, but I could do, it's like super echoey in here. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But I feel like it's been echoey since I moved into this corner. But I could there's like vertical acoustic panels, slat wall. There's somebody on Facebook Marketplace selling a bunch, but it's really expensive, fancy stuff. Then I found some on Amazon that was cheap. And I think I could do that whole wall for a couple $100 and thought maybe that would be a slight improvement to things. I don't know. East Bay Ray is here. Good morning from Indianapolis, Indiana. Just a curtain would work. Listen to you guys. Do you really think a curtain is good enough for BikeFarmer? No. I need hardwood acoustic paneling. I'm a fancy, fancy boy and sensitive. So be careful what you say to me. I could be easily triggered. Georgetown, Texas. Fancy boy with an eye. Loud and clear. It's not echoing at all. Okay. Jeez, just let me have my wants. You sell Gaints. You sell Gaints bikes in Australia and repair. You mean Gaint. They're French. And that's a joke I'm using in the video I'm editing currently. I think tomorrow's drop, I'm going to get it out. I brought all footage with me on vacation, and I was going to edit it on my laptop on the airplane. But that bike in that video upset me so deeply to my core that I didn't want to revisit the trauma in the edit. True story. I was like, I'm on vacation and I don't want to sit in that misery, that miserable state of mind again. So I'm upstairs doing it. And honestly, the first half of the video, which is the most important half from my standpoint, isn't totally terrible, that bad, but it was one of those bike projects where every single step along the way, everything I touched was problematic. It just did not stop. It was one thing after another. It's that I picked it up from Free Bikes, Bikes for Kids, whenever that was, whenever I was in there a couple months ago. And it's the Vitus 979 frame that says Guiant on the side. So it's French and it's just a hodgepodge. And oh my God. Um, yeah. Anyway, I put a Guiant saddle on it. It says Giant on it. Yes, Gaint. Nice. Don't let the bastards grind you down, swooping magpie. Jason from Ohio. Let's talk about tacos. I can talk about tacos. Palm Springs, when I'm there, we are with friends. We stay with friends. And it seems like I'm only there a couple of days. This is the third year in a row we've gone. And so I'm like really maximizing my time. And I'm not on my own, right? Maggie's there and we have friends. And so I can't really do the taco mission properly because the proper taco mission in a foreign land is to, you go to Google, you go to the Googler maps and you ask Mexican restaurant. And then you look for the highest number of stars, obviously, but I think more importantly, it's the highest number of reviews. So even like a 4.6 with 150 reviews is going to impress me more than a 5.0 with 47 reviews. Now, it can be misleading. So, and then you got to, if I'm like with something, it's like, I'm going to go eat by myself because I got a taco addiction. And honestly, when I'm on those missions, I'm going after the steak burrito. That's my go-to. That's how I test. I can either do tacos campechanos, which is always a risk, or a steak burrito can really tell you if the place is serious or not. So anyway, in Palm Springs, I still don't have a go-to Mexican restaurant. It just hasn't come up as something I've needed. But then I drove out to Arizona the Phoenix, but the very far northwest corner, Sun City West and Surprise up there. And the very first one I found was an excellent burrito, excellent steak burrito. It was a little salty, but I could see how maybe that was just that one, that they just kind of leaned into it, or maybe they had a mishap with the cap or something, just, so yeah. And then I had one other burrito there that it was just all meat. It was super weird. They're like, would you like pico? I'm like, sure. But it was just meat and pico. I'm like, this isn't a burrito. This is just like a taco in a burrito shell or whatever. It's very bizarre. Still delicious. Yeah. Stupid ad cut in right as your story. Really? There, delayed ads. I try to turn ads off for the live stream. Sorry about that. I don't know if I can. I'll just try to keep up with it. I can pause it. So I'm pausing it for 10 minutes now. Sorry about that. I must have misclicked before. I turn the ads on for the replay. You can watch ad free if you click in, if you can get here at 10 a.m. Central on Fridays. No, they pay me a little bit, but I can only imagine how annoying that is on your end. So that would suck to be like, I got to get there for a live stream and then have ads. Like, I don't know. That seems a little much. I mean, I am only here for the money. I'm not going to apologize for wanting to make a living doing this, but I do try to keep you guys happy too. Oh, a heat pump for your house. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't have a Tuesday drop because I was on vacation and I did as much pre-planning as I could. to stay on schedule. Previous vacations and past years, I've stayed on schedule. I did not this time. Um, okay, so it's only a 10-second ad. I have no idea how that works on your end. I just pay for premium. It's the best $15 a month I spend in my life, hands down. So I never see ads on YouTube. It's unbelievably better. Um, so that's what I would recommend. Ads are a small part. Some people don't mind ads. I don't listen to commercial radio. I don't watch commercial TV. I hate commercials. I hate ads. Um, yeah, it's funny because that's how I make a living. Like I said, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, I mean, I watch long form content, so it's like um, I don't want to be interrupted with ads all the time. So anyway, fixing bikes is like not as much of a priority in my life. Bike farmer is, but fixing bikes isn't. That's a problem. It's something I have to like figure out. So I've been trying to do more like fun projects, go to the charity, get some bikes and more interesting, fun, this could be fun to work on projects. And so I actually dropped off before I went on vacation. I dropped off all four of the bikes that I had, like the last four bike videos or whatever. And then I was going to pick up more, but the only one that really grabbed my attention is this. I'm looking at it right now. It's a titanium Serrata road bike, and it's pretty cool. Um, it's got the carbon fiber fork and seat stays. So that's pretty neat. It's really lightweight, but it's all Campagnolo. But it's Campagnolo with a weird Bontrager tire or wheel and trainer tire, but I got an extra wheel with it and I'm going to convert it back. Now, it's like, I don't know how it works. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how it all works. Like, apparently, I always thought that the 10-speed Campagnolo shifters and derailleurs and everything work just fine on a 10-speed Shimano cassette, which is what it is, but it's got this little adapter that says that it needs that to work. So I got to look into it, but I thought the spacing was the same. I know that the cable pull from the lever is different, but as long as you have the right derailleur, it should work. Anyway, um, yeah, I mean, I do have a Patreon, but I never pay attention to it. Maybe I should open that up because I hear people say that. I guess I never really knew that. I just did YouTube memberships because it's like right here in YouTube, but apparently they take a bigger cut, and I guess I didn't even know that. So, um, yeah, I mean, maybe I could be doing it better. It's administrative. I suck at administrative stuff. Um, Somebody asks, are they dumb for building up a frame that's too big for me? I've done it to get to where I am. I mean, if you want to be like me, you're going to have to do some stupid shit along the way. But yeah, it's dumb. But, I mean, that's how we learn. I see that all the time. People come to me with bike projects and they get a really screaming deal on this really cool bike, and it's either the wrong bike or it's the wrong size, or they're trying to get it to work for the wrong purpose, or and it's like, I can give you advice, but the advice is different bike. It sucks because I just know better at this point. Now, if you're just like wanting something to do, if it's a hobby and you want to try to make it work to work through the problems, and I see value in that. You can learn a lot, and you don't know until you know, and sometimes you just have to experience it. That's how I am. Like, I'll purposely make mistakes. I think I do that. I like A psychologist might say self-sabotage, just to prove to myself that I really need to do it that way. It sucks. Some people are just like, they can see through that bullshit and they just get to success a lot faster. That's just not how I'm wired. So somebody's asking, why don't I have full brake power? Yeah. Okay. Here we are. And everybody's throwing out ideas with the disc brakes. And, they're like, why don't I have disc? Everything's fine. I got everything set up just fine. And, I got the right pads. I got the right discs. I just bled them. I did everything by the books. They feel good, but they don't stop. I have that problem on my golf e-bike. The front brake works great. Back brake, not so much. I don't know why. It's the exact same setup. I've bled them both the exact same way. I know that like the squishiness of the rear is very likely because there's so much more hose. But ultimately, I don't know, because disc brakes are like that. They're finicky and stupid. Um, Speaking of finicky and stupid and not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about, before I left on vacation, somebody notified me to a a Reddit thread about me on some random subreddit where they were talking about me and not saying nice things. Like Reddit is a really toxic, terrible, awful place on the internet. I know a lot of people love Reddit, like, and it's a place you can learn from. Oh, hey, thank you for the burrito money. Um, Thank you so much. And for the kind words, because I was just talking about the assholes on Reddit. And man, there are it's these people that just like you guys are all nice in here. That's why I was like, I need some nice bike farmer people. So I come to my little chat here and I hang out with my friends, you guys. And you guys tend to be okay with me not being just exactly perfect or giving you exactly what you want, which is, I think, what normal people are like. But there are people out there where I think they only go to the internet so they can, in the comments, talk about how much better they are than people. They're just that insecure. Anyway, that's what this Reddit thread was all about. And, it goes back to those videos that I did last summer that were wildly popular. I mean, I made a lot of money on those, and like I got a lot of subs off of them too. I mean, it was the last time the channel was really growing fast. It was like in August, and I did like a couple of tubeless tires and a couple of brake bleeds. Like I had these like Trek super bikes dropped off that just gave me the fits. And BikeFarmer state of the channel. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what these are, right? But thank you for the $10. Oh yeah, it's my birthday on Sunday. That's I think I put that in the ad. Oh, we're gonna pause, delay ads. Okay, I think I'm delaying ads again. Yeah, it's my birthday, so if you want to send me money. um, and um, so these people were like, I would never give that guy my bikes. He doesn't even know how to bleed a brake. His take on tubeless or whatever is like totally wrong. Tubeless is the easiest thing ever. Like all this shit. And I just don't get it, because I've always had problems. And I've talked to other mechanics that are like, yeah, it sucks to deal with it. And I'm just like, I think these people like really could never imagine being caught making a mistake, struggling through something, maybe getting something wrong in public, you know? And to me, I think that's like the value of the channel. Yeah. Opinions are like assholes. They're all on Reddit. So I say opinions, unlike assholes, should be thoroughly inspected as often as possible. Reddit is king. um, one thing that they did get right though is well, okay, so the guy that made the OP, the original, I actually know him. And I'd met him, and I don't think he expected that I'd find this thread. And he wasn't talking trash about me. He just posted something like I was working on a trek, and I guess the joke in this particular subreddit is that all treks are cop bikes, and they were kind of like anarchist type guys, so they didn't like cops. And so the joke, that was the joke, is that I was, reviving cop bikes or just kidding. How'd I do? Am I back? Yeah. Um, I don't know what that was. So anyway, these guys, like I said, they're like anarchist redditors or something, commies, who knows? And they don't like AI. They think AI is like the devil or something. Like it's, you can't possibly imagine that being a positive thing for society at all. It's just the worst. Maybe they're Luddites too. I don't know how they identify. I don't know what ideology they subscribe to, but it was an ideology that clearly I didn't know enough about or something. But the one thing they got right about the AI thing in the other channel, one of them said, "Yeah, that kind of seemed like a bit of a fever dream." So that's been sticking with me a lot. It's like it's a fever dream. And it's not, because I very much am plugged in and interested in that still. But that channel, I just haven't done anything for like two weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks. Um, so that was going on over there on Reddit. So the fever dream thing stuck. I can't remember. I think somebody called me a good name too, but it wasn't as good as smug turd. Smug turd was the best thing that Reddit ever came up with for me. Blockage in the pipes. Um, and so before I went on vacation, it was like 45, 55 degrees around here. One day it was like above 60. I went for a bike ride in like short sleeves and shorts. Crazy for February in Wisconsin. And then I went, to the Southwest in the desert, and it was just warm. I was in shorts and short sleeves all day. And it's called Instead of Working. You can look it up. And um, today it's nice and warm too. So, okay, I'm going to go resume ads and then delay ads. So today's going to be nice and warm too. So I might be able to go for a bike ride. I'm going to try to ride my bike more. Would you put a caliper brake, I think you mean, on the front of a 90s model giant MTB? I mean, I think most early 90s, most 90s model bikes came with caliper brakes. It's true that Trek has made cop bikes. And actually during 2020, um, during the whole George Floyd, defund the police thing stuff, there was a video that was going around with cops being trained to use their bikes as weapons, and they said Trek on the side of them, and people called Trek out on that. And it's like cops are, using your bicycles as weapons. Like, I think what they did is, shifted them into the little chain ring and then like use the chain ring to jab shins. Like it was kind of like a shield, if you like, and then you can like poke people with your chain ring. Bike ride over in Marshall tonight. Favorite long pull brake lever? I don't think I have a favorite. Not including, I mean, just like a nice Tektro lever, why not? They're great. Yeah, so, like, I never knew that that was, like, a thing, like, people are like, "I would never have a Trek because they make police bikes." Like, you never drive a Ford because they make cop cars. Um, I don't have a birthday dinner plan. I have a birthday breakfast plan. I told the kids and Maggie that, as soon as everybody's up, the kids wake up mid-morning, we'll go over to the cafe and get pancakes. That's more my jam. I'll be 49 years old, not quite 50. Next year is going to be a big one. Next year, we should throw a party. Next year, I might be, well, I was going to say I might be in Palm Springs. So that's something that came out of this Springs trip is if I can somehow, so to be honest with you, the Bike Farmer channel is, I wouldn't say struggling, and it's hard to say too because February is always a bad month, but it is definitely not growing. The videos are still getting pretty good views. I have my core audience. You guys are great, but I'm not reaching new people. It's like, a little bit there through the Minneapolis stuff. I saw some growth, got some new people in here. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it because I'm not opening Gibbs this year either. So I hope I didn't. Yeah, everybody's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it picks back up. Hopefully I can, find a groove, maybe a new video format that's successful. There's still ways to, that's how this goes with all channels. They kind of ebb and flow and whatever. Yeah, somebody says probably just winter. I think that's part of it. So it's hard for me to like dream of things that will cost extra money. But a really common thing that I never even really knew about, but it makes a whole lot of sense. It's kind of like, oh, duh. But what people will do is, like rent like an Airbnb or something for a month in the middle of the winter, like snowbirds, and just go down for a month. First half of the century is the hardest. What's your favorite cake? Now, come on, Jilly, you can't bake me a cake. But maybe it's just a question. I'm just I just know better than to answer your questions because then I get something in the mail. But thank you so much for the $100. Thank you very much. Favorite birthday cake? I would say, man, I mean, ice cream cake, of course, like an Oreo, cookies and cream ice cream cake is always awesome. Um, I would say just like a chocolate vanilla, half and half with a good frosting, and then always a scoop of vanilla ice cream with it. My dad would always have his mom bake him pecan pie for his birthday. And like that's probably my favorite is pecan pie with a scoop of vanilla. Um, yeah, but I think overall vanilla. I like vanilla more than chocolate in the cake world. Um, yeah, pecan. Did I ever tell you guys? I've told you guys the pecan story. But anyway, I might just rent a condo or an apartment or a trailer or whatever I can find for a month next year in February and just go down to Palm Springs with my golf clubs and hang out and just get out of the winter. I ran that plan. So, oh no. Oh, I'm back. I don't know what the heck is yellow. I just thought it was vanilla. I guess the real answer is I don't know. I don't know what my favorite cake is. Whatever somebody bakes me, I suppose. Beacon. So I was down in New Orleans riding in the bus, and it was just me and the bus driver. I sat right up front, and he was taking me from downtown to the convention center. And I was like, "What the heck is a praline?" Like every other store said something about pralines. And he's like, "Oh, like, it's like a nut, and then they candy, it's like a pecan or something." I'm like, "Oh, they're pecans." And he's like, "No, pecan is something you keep under your bed. They're pecans." So, ever since then, I stopped calling them pecans. Look at that AI answer out of Christopher Lee Riley. Man, yellow cake is some sort of nuclear material. That's a thing. Yellow cake uranium. That's my favorite kind of birthday cake. When I eat it, I turn into an Ubermensch. I have not ridden Joshua Tree. We drove through it last year, and every year that I've gone down there, I've looked into riding through it. Um, I don't think there's a really good way to like ride a loop from Palm Springs around Joshua Tree and then back like through the valley. There's got to be a route. Um, but a lot of it would be super boring. I mean, half of it would be incredibly boring riding, and it would be like a 120-mile loop. Um, I did not go to the Grand Parsons. We just like kind of whirlwind it through. But I think if I went for a month next year, I would most certainly bring a bike somehow, one way or another. I'd probably ship it myself. And then bring my bike packing gear somehow, probably ship it to myself, and then go do a, ride out to Joshua Tree, spend the night and ride back kind of thing. Any dream bike packing destinations? Not really. Um, you know, I mean that's the way to go. I guess Iceland. I've always wanted to bike pack Iceland, but the weather is just so extreme and unpredictable that it's risky. Like you could, spend $6,000 on the trip and just have a miserable time. I don't want to do that. Oh, nice. Ireland, that'd be probably pretty nice. Camper van trip to Iceland. I'm pretty sure you have to fly or float. I don't think you can drive a van to Iceland. You might want to look into that. So here's the thing. You know, the old, you know, oh hey, Ricochet K, member for 1 month. Thank you. Oh, you meant rent one once you're there. That's not what you said though, is it? Um, so Iceland is green and Greenland is ice. And the old wives' tale is that the Vikings told that, named it that way to confuse everyone. And that was part of their, you know, global dominance or whatever. I don't necessarily believe that. What I believe is that in Iceland, it is spelled Island, which is island, and it is an island country. So I think Iceland it's like Islam. It's an island. That's what I think. Frozen again. You have the mentality of triathlon. You should try it. Are you trying? You're baiting me. That you're a troll, right? Yeah. Sorry about the glitchiness today, guys. I have no idea what's going on. Tell the missus we're going on an island vacation and bring her to Iceland. It's actually a wonderful place to visit. I've been there a few times. Back in my previous life, when I was selling chemicals for a living, I almost got a customer that had business in Singapore at the same time that I had a customer with business in Iceland. So I'd gone to Iceland a few times on business, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to go to Singapore too." Um, and I was like, "You have 2 island nations that are really fascinating anthropological studies in and of themselves, but almost the polar opposite climates." And, like, I mean, culturally, even almost polar opposites. Um, yeah, I always thought that'd be interesting to like split your time. Oh, this happens with your age. Yeah. Um, so I'm almost 50, and I was hanging out with friends that were almost 50, or I mean almost 60, and they were talking about how somebody said, that they were all like almost 60, and somebody called them late middle aged. And they were like shocked that they would be labeled that way. And I'm like, I didn't say it, but I've always felt like middle aged is 30 to 60, which makes a whole lot of sense. We live to be 90. First part of your life is 1 through 30, 30 through 60, 60 through 90, you know? But apparently they didn't like being labeled as middle aged. And I was like, I don't know. I don't mind it. Hoping to try the Ohio to Erie Trail. Is that like the Erie Canal Trail? A lot of people talk about doing that one. It looks pretty nice. Yeah, how Singapore went from a malarian swamp to such a beautiful city. Interesting place. It's interesting too from the AI standpoint when you start going down rabbit holes with which countries are best suited to handle the AI transition that's coming up. Singapore comes up highly because they have so much money, and that it is basically like a benevolent dictatorship, very authoritarian, but very well done. And so I guess it's one of the freest markets, but it's and least corrupt. So it's possible that you could have like really good leadership. Well, I don't think it passed us all by yet, but it's passing us by. That just seems to be the actual case. Yeah, the middle would be 40, which means like 50 is late middle aged. I mean, at least 60. Yeah. So I'm pushing 50, right? And it's that way already with friends. We all talk about our aches and pains and who's, last been at the doctor for something weird. The only country that had a war on drugs and won. Singapore got some things right. I mean, did they though? Clearly, you've never done drugs. They're pretty fun. Jilly, you get to a point and it just doesn't matter what your ailments are anymore. You just keep on living. I tell you what, though, Jilly, I mean, if you're still up north, you're a hardy one. I was in Sun City West, which is a retirement community, and the average age has to be 67 or higher. Yeah, it's a 55 and up community. So I guess, it's probably 65 or something like that. But man, I mean, it was it wasn't that interesting to me, right? Like, but as far as being a man of leisure and liking recreational sports, I mean, anything you want. Yeah, I mean, anything you want in those communities. it was really something. And like no kids, and everybody's kind of the same age and going through the same stuff. I see the attraction. I see why people are there. I'm not sure we'll ever be hunted by robots. I don't think that's the greatest threat. Ain't that the truth with the older people? And sometimes, and it's not, it can't make any sense. Like the comment was that 60 plus older people, their quality of life varies so much. I see that out at the country club all the time. Sorry, the golf club. Um, some of these guys are in great shape and pushing 80 and out there, regularly shooting their age. And then other ones are, not even retired yet and can barely walk. Yeah. Yeah, pickleball is big. I mean, go be an orthopedic surgeon in Sun City if you want to get rich with the pickleball. Like, I mean, I don't play pickleball because I like my ankles and my knees, and I don't want to get hurt because I want to keep riding bikes and playing golf. Like, I don't need to play pickleball. Yeah, diet. Somebody said diet. I mean, you are what you eat. Yeah, it's no doubt about it. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think some people are just have better 93-year-old scratch? No. There's no such thing as a 93-year-old scratch golfer. Um, yeah, I have a hard time believing that. But I believe that he can keep up. I mean, it's rare that you see, um, you know, even the guys in their 80s, it's pretty hard to, um, um, even the guys in their 80s have a hard time keeping up. But there's a few of them. Paul, Paul Azinger. If you want to live longer, pick better parents. Yeah, visit being able to, having access to healthcare is a big one. No doubt about it. Boomers and Gen Xers suck at eating and hydration. Not untrue. Hey, thanks from Manitowoc, from the fitness store. How about fitness burrito in my belly? I love that joke. Quit caffeine and alcohol. I quit the alcohol. The caffeine's a little tougher. Oof. Both parents with Alzheimer's. Yeah, my grandma had it. 85% of adults never sprint once past the age of 30. That's got to count for something. What do you mean by sprint? Like running? Sprint? So you got to stay active. That's one thing I really firmly believe in it. The minute you stop moving, you start dying. Um, yeah, you gotta keep moving. It's the guys that really do play every day, um, walk, ride their bikes, are out doing stuff, hiking, just every day trying to get out and doing something. Yeah, running sprint. Yeah, I mean, I can't do it. I was one of my friends that I visited in Sun City. He's only like 57 or something, and he plays softball too. And I'm like, I wouldn't play softball just because I don't think I'd be able to run to first base. I hate running. I just have like lower back and yeah, just no. I don't mind walking or riding my bike, but running is just too. Wow. Made an escape from the home with her friend at age 100. Yeah, so Jilly, you got like 30 good years left then. Amazing. I mean, I've never met you, but you seem to be in good shape, still riding tandems and carrying on. Yeah, I go to the exercise class here in town, and I call it sweating with the oldies. Because I mean, there's a lot of 70 plus people in there just, you know, just moving because you gotta. Yeah, I mean, you look back, you see old footage of people. Somebody has said these old fishermen in Jamaica that were ripped. You know, it's really just, especially in America, the high fructose corn syrup, right? It's when sugar became in everything that we have, cheap calories. But you know, people were pretty fit back when, but they didn't live as long. You know, that I think it's just like now we just eat like shit and then use medicine to keep us alive. Rowing machines, yeah, I should get one of those. So that's something. I because I'm not opening the bike shop, I have my garage space back. So I've been moving that around, and I want to build a workshop. And I basically just have a whole lot more space. And so I can kind of, the bike shop or the studio will become half the size, or actually a third of the size that it was. And I'll be able to make a little exercise room in my basement. And I have, um, oh, I wonder if the electrical is on. Yeah, so I'm thinking about building a wood shop and a metal shop and a workout space. So I'm going to be chipping away at that. And I think I'm going to get footage of all that, those projects for the other channel. Like this is what I'm doing with my life instead of working, even though I'm still working. Velo swap in Denver in November? Probably not. Uh, Sorry, got a yawn in there. There's a deep dive into bandsaws in your future. I want to get a tabletop bandsaw, but I want it to be deep. And it seems like the deep ones are all floor standing. One of the problems I have, it's a good problem, but I have this gigantic steel workbench and it's a beast. Um, is it 9 feet long and almost 3 feet deep? Like it's a beast. Very heavy, very cool. Um, and I don't necessarily want to get rid of it, but because it's so big, one of the good uses of all that tabletop space would be to put a couple of key tabletop tools. And I'm thinking drill press and bandsaw could go on top of that, like off to the side. Um, and then the other thing with the bandsaw is the bandsaw is really useful for like frame building or metal. Um, and so what blade? Maybe somebody knows. Sorry about the dinging. Um, so can you have like one blade on a bandsaw that does both metal and wood well? I know you can change the blades for different cuts, but what a pain in the ass. Bandsaws cut everything. Great for meat. Like the way you think. You know, I'm just learning about all this stuff. I'm watching a lot of videos. If anybody's interested in something besides bicycles out there, my latest deep dive has been the Polk Smart Shop. Polk Smart something or another. Hold on. PAULK. Polk Smart Bench. thesmartwoodshop.com. PAULK, this guy developed these really cool woodworking workbenches and workstations, and I'm going to build one of those on wheels. 90,000 people over 100. They keep moving and walk and better diet, of course. Yeah. Well, Bob, there's only one way to find out now. You should make that short. Chop saw for tubing. Yeah. I do have to finish my frame building project. Maybe I'll try to do that this week. Maybe we'll do maybe we'll have a frame building video next Saturday. Wouldn't that be cool? You guys like that? Get the torches out and finish up the back end of my old touring bike thing. There is no hack to get a pin back into an 8-speed chain when you accidentally push all the way through. Okay, so the hack is you get a replacement chain pin. Like I have a bunch in a bin. You could probably order them on Amazon and get a little 3-pack for $5. Shimano 8-speed replacement pin, and they have well, they have a pointy end that goes all the way through, and then you take your chain tool and put it through, and then you break off the pointy end. It's like yeah, the ones you push through and break. Yep, that's how you do it. Or you take out the other pin, so you know you've got the female and the male, right? And you got the female, and you take the legs off, right? And so then you have 2 males, and then you use a quick link. Yeah, you could do that too. Just finish breaking the whole link and then get a quick link. That's probably the best solution. I used to only use replacement pins and so on and so forth, but then in the bike mobile, just for efficiency, I switched everything. I just had a whole bunch of quick links, and anytime I had to break a chain, I would put it back together with quick links, just because it's a little bit quicker. And anytime I replaced a chain, I would always use quick link chains. So I have done frame building start to finish. Those are really hard videos for me to make because I don't know what I'm doing and I'm not that good at it. And they don't get as many views. So I probably won't be doing that. But you should watch Thrifty Frame Builder. Yeah, Thrifty Frame Builder is doing that. And he's got a bunch of videos out now and shows how easy it can be to just build one in your garage. And that'll be a project that I do at some point is, I think he shows how to build a frame jig out of aluminum extrusion. Did I say that right? Yeah, and I think he might even have like plans or design for that, or an order sheet, so you can just order all the stuff, and then he's got a nice frame jig that he's made up. Yeah, it is freezing in here, and I turned the heat on, but it's still freezing, and I've been down here for an hour. So I'm wondering if I tripped the trigger. What do you call it? The fuse, not the fuse. You know what I'm talking about. That's another thing. I'm going to upgrade the electrical in my garage shop too, so I can just run anything. Breaker, thank you. I do want to do different cities and ride and philosophize. I have thought about that. The problem is I don't know my way around most cities, so I'd need to find a host. And it would be great to find a philosophical host and like have conversations and stuff on bikes. Easier said than done. Don't build a frame jig out of aluminum because they expand and contract with ambient temps. Yeah, all right. I mean, not that much. It's not going to matter for any of us. Ooh, 93 in Mesa. Oh, it's Chris. We were texting yesterday. Thank you. Um, yeah, it was a hot one. Well, 2 days ago when I was there playing golf in the afternoon, I was parking in the shade. I was like, I didn't want to complain being because I'm freezing now. But yeah, it's hot there already. I don't really have any, thoughts on fixie culture. I hate the word fixie. That's one thought I have. Um, and I don't really understand it. And I guess I don't understand why there's a culture about it or around it. And I thought that that was dead in 2007. But other than that, I don't have any thoughts on it. Um, I think the videos of people flying through New York City on fixies, and I mean, it's those are crazy. And I love it. I love that. I think it's fantastic, and I love how pissed off everybody gets about it. I think that's great. So that part of the culture I like, and I like the punk rock anarchist, that whole culture. I think I love it. I love any kind of counterculture like that. I like for the most part, unless it's MAGA, and even that, it's like I kind of like um, the small militias out in the country, and like, they have the signs up, you're gonna get shot if you come in here, and they're all, like even those countercultures I like, as long as you're not hurting anybody. And I guess technically the flying through the city on a fixed gear, like you could be hurting people, but it seems like the biggest threat, like well, at least what I've seen, is they're not hitting pedestrians, but they do hit the side of taxi cabs. Yeah, I mean, they just know how to read the traffic so well. I got really good at reading traffic and riding through traffic and stuff in Madison, but it's nothing like that. Yeah, I guess that's why it persists, right? Um, yeah. Yeah, Terry B has a lot of those videos. Oh, all right. Well, I am freezing, and that is an hour, and I got to get back to my edit because I don't want to work tomorrow. I want to play in my garage tomorrow. So I'm gonna go and get back to my edit, and I will see you guys next week, and hopefully have a video dropping tomorrow morning for you. And for those of you that like watching me struggle and be miserable, you're gonna love it. It does not get deep in the chewing stand. Pretty straightforward. So see ya. I am out if I can figure out how to just get out of here. Why where's my button? Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna click out.